The hunted man fled to a cave entrance, quickly clearing away the rocks above. A hidden secret passage revealed itself. Ben immediately crawled inside. Just moments before his pursuers caught up, he kicked away the wooden support propping up the cave entrance. He thought he'd evaded danger. But the billowing white dust spewing from the entrance had already betrayed his location. Gazing at the collapsed entrance, the tycoon decided to play a game of cat and mouse with Ben. Meanwhile, Ben crawled forward through the passageway, severely dehydrated. He dared not slacken his pace. Through sheer willpower, he soon reached the passage's end. His secret hideout. Parched, he grabbed a water jug and drank it dry. Sunburned, he quickly pulled on his pants, then forced himself to lace leather boots over his mangled feet despite the excruciating pain. Realizing the tycoon would soon hunt him down, Ben hastily tore down the map from the wall, marking the location of the buried water source. Soon, the tycoon arrived at the entrance. Hearing the commotion, Ben scrambled back into the cave, but the tycoon grabbed the nearby explosives, lit them, and tossed them into the passageway. To avoid being blown to bits, Ben frantically crawled out of the cave, sprinting toward the exit. Fortunately, Ben was lucky, escaping just moments before the explosion, but this meant he was back within the tycoon's sight. Still, to avoid leaving evidence, the tycoon didn't shoot Ben dead. Instead, he threatened him to keep walking deeper into the desert, wanting to see Ben slowly bake to death here. Though utterly exhausted, both physically and mentally, Ben refused to give up on survival. Following the map's directions, he successfully located the iron box he'd buried earlier. While the tycoon wasn't looking, he secretly retrieved the slingshot inside. Then, following the map's guidance, he dug up the hidden water source. He immediately grabbed the bucket and began drinking, but before he could take a few gulps, the relentless tycoon caught up again. The tycoon fired several shots at the bucket, riddling it with holes like a sieve. Realizing the tycoon's ruthless methods, Ben had no choice but to obediently follow the tycoon's orders, and trudged onward under the blazing sun. In stark contrast to Ben's wretched state, the tycoon basked in contentment. He leisurely mixed himself a cocktail, then placed a small stool nearby. He wanted to see how long Ben could endure. At that moment, Ben appeared lifeless, yet his mind was plotting a daring scheme. Soon the tycoon drove up in pursuit. Finding Ben collapsed motionless on the ground, unexpectedly, the tycoon proved deeply suspicious. He raised his shotgun and fired at Ben. With each successive shot, Ben on the ground broke out in cold sweat. Fortunately, to avoid leaving evidence, each shot perfectly missed Ben. The tycoon's motive was merely to test whether Ben was still alive. Ben's masterful acting successfully deceived the tycoon. The tycoon was about to drive back to the city, but unexpectedly, he kept a wary eye. Before leaving, he picked up his binoculars for one last check, only to witness Ben seemingly revive. Filled with rage at this sight, the tycoon lost all desire to toy with Ben. He immediately retrieved his sniper rifle, aimed at Ben halfway up the mountainside, and pulled the trigger. Fortunately, the distance was too great. The tycoon's successive shots all missed their mark. He could only drive up the slope in pursuit. Meanwhile, Ben dared not pause for a single step. He scrambled toward the cave above, for in his memory, he and his girlfriend had once bathed in the cave's water pool. There must be a water source there. But when he finally reached it after immense hardship, the sight before him plunged him into utter despair. The pool had completely dried up.